Mr. Powell has had an interesting life leading up to his substituting years that not many people know about. Mr. Powell has been substituting here for many years. Not many people in the school remember a time where there was no Mr. Powell. Did you go to Danville Area School District or a different school in the area?
I went to Shamokin.
Oh, Shamokin?
Shamokin.
Okay. After you finished middle school, did you go to Votac or high school?
Well, Shamokin separates into just two schools, elementary, and then they go to junior high and senior high. So 7th and 8th is junior high.
Okay.
And the rest is high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is actually no middle school there at that time.
Yeah.
There is now, I believe.
Yeah. Did you play any sports in high school? And if you did, what was your favorite?
I was just on the gymnastics team.
Yeah.
That's all I was on.
And then, why did you like it so much?
Well, it wasn't really a team. They were just trying to start it up, you know?
Yeah.
And they were trying to get something done in the area.
Yeah.
And it never really came about. It was something to do between the different sports because they held it in the early spring.
Yeah.
Before track. Actually, track wasn't that big then either.
Did you do track?
No.
No?
No, I was in the band.
Yeah. What was your favorite class in high school, and why did you like it so much?
Well, I was in speech and drama. That was probably the most, because I was involved in different stage productions and stuff like that, and so speech and drama was kind of the fun thing to do in school.
Yeah.
Then at church we did some plays also.
After high school, where did you go? And if you went to college, which one did you go to?
Well, after high school, I went into the military.
Oh.
And then at that time, it was around the Vietnam era there, you know.
Yeah.
And kids my age went in basically, especially in poor families, so that they had college money.
Yeah.
And then I spent 3 years in the Army.
Yeah.
And then I went to Wilkes. And I spent 3 years at Wilkes.
Yeah.
And then I was teaching for a little while, teaching math.
Yeah.
And in 7th grade, actually.
Yeah.
And then in a Catholic school up there. And then I was a band director for 2 years. And then I went back into the Air Force. Well, actually, I went up to LCC. I had my master's already then.
Yeah.
But I went to LCC to pick up some credits so I could go into the Air Force as an officer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Then when I got there, down to my first assignment, I started going to Auburn, you know. And Auburn that's when Bo Jackson was there. You probably don't remember him. He was before your age.
Yeah.
And when Bo Jackson was at his peak there at Auburn at that time, and I was taking a doctorate program in adult vocational and career education.
Yeah. Did you ever get to meet him?
No.
Okay.
School's bigger than you think.
Yeah.
And we were in the Department of Education there, and he was not in that department. He was in the phys ed department.
Yeah. What was like your very first job?
Very first?
Yeah, very first.
My very first job was at Knoebels.
Knoebels?
Knoebels. I was the at that time they had a big French fry department, and I worked that my first year there. That was when I was 16. And then when I was 17, I became the short order cook inside the Alamo.
Yeah.
And then when I came back and went to college, I became their baker.
Yeah.
I used to bake pies in that big thing that looks like a bread loaf.
Did you get to like win them off of like the games? Did you win the pies from like playing games?
No, I actually made them.
Oh. I
made the pies in that loaf of bread there. And we would sell about 300 of them on a weekend.
Whoa. Did anything else interesting and memorable happen that you would like to share before you started subbing here at DMS?
Well, you know, after all the years, I'm
Yeah.
going to say the years, but after all the years, you know, different great things happen to you.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on where you were and what you did. You know, like I got the opportunity to go to Korea in the
Ooh,
60s.
that's cool.
Yeah. And I got the opportunity to go to Iceland when I was in the Air Force, and I
Yeah.
spent 18 months there.
Was that pretty cool?
It was nice,
Yeah.
but I think Korea was a little nicer
Yeah.
because they were friendlier people. Icelandics tend to cluster like in their own, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't want to really get along or associate with anyone that
Yeah.
didn't live on the island.
Yeah.
Where in Korea, they were just so happy that we were there
Yeah.
that they were really friendly people.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most interesting part of, you know, of my military career,
Yeah.
going to those two places.
Would you like to make any closing remarks? Or
Well, I tell all the kids that the one thing is that Danville is probably the best job I've had,
yeah.
working here as a substitute, because a lot of the things that I do here, you know, remind me of my grandkids because
Yeah.
they're the same age as you guys are.
Yeah.
So I've got grandchildren that range all the way from 3 years old up to 26.
Yeah.
And, you know, Danville is probably one of the best jobs I've had. It's enjoyable to come, and if I miss more than 3 days, I get all kind of nervous and bothered by it because I like coming in and seeing the kids.
Yeah.
So it's probably the best job I've had. I don't get paid as much,
Yeah.
you know, but it's a nice job because the kids are so nice here.
Yeah.